when I tried to get people to read books, I told you this crazy reaction I got from one person, which is not representative. I started a book club to try to get my team, and I said it's mandatorily optional. It's kind of my joke. Like, I really wish you would be there, but I can't force you to be there. And, I would say, like, of my important people in my organizations, it's almost 100% come at 6 p.m. on Mondays, once a month, when I do book club at thisweekinstartups.com/Slack. There's a book thing. The next book is I Love Capitalism and The Hot Hand. And previously we did Never Split the Difference. But who's on the clock for this? Because there's one person who asked me to pay them overtime. Like, it's just mind-blowing. But how does the law work? How do companies look at it? And then, how do you think it should work?
Yeah. You and I should connect on book clubs next time. So I'm actually the founder of bookclub.com as well. But,
I know, I saw that. Whoa,
so
that's
we'll
got
talk
potential.
Books.
Let's make a startup.
Talk books next time. Yeah.
Let's make that into a startup. I'll back that.
Yeah, all right.
You literally own bookclub.com?
Yeah, that's me. So,
is it a platform or is it like a real business or is it just a hobby, a side hustle?
No, it's a venture-backed startup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I missed it.
If you want to write a check on the podcast, I don't know if you've done that
do.
yet. But,
what's the business model of bookclub.com?
Yeah.
Is it just a SaaS?
It's author-led book clubs, and it's a subscription business.
Fascinating, because I did for Angel, the book, I just created Angel University, a course.
Mm-hmm.
And the course is free, just to give $100 to charity. All proceeds go to charity. But yeah, I like this idea of authors doing the book clubs because you get paid a certain amount, but the course actually you can charge more for. And I think that was Masterclass's idea. And then other people are doing like these $500, $1,000 courses, which is incredible. But what a great domain name. Well done. So back to the question. Who's on the clock for educational time?
The legal answer
is, first.
If you are a salaried employee, then you can ask people to learn on their own time. If you're an hourly employee, then yes, the law states that if you require people to learn something, that you have to pay them for it, which complicates this in a lot of ways.
Okay. Now, the salaried, which is typically over 50 or 60 grand, depending, I think, on the state, or is that a federal law? But I think it's...
Yeah, and I'll tell you, because I think there's a big insight at the back end of this question. And the journey I've been on was, increasingly we're responsible for our careers. If, with lifelong learning becoming the mandate, you've just got to be learning all the time. And if you expect your employer to give that to you or to require it of you, you're going to get left behind. You've got to take ownership of your learning. Yep. And you've got to be a great lifelong learner to be competitive in today's market. But now I've spent years with this question and sort of watching the journey. And here's what I'd say, more recently where I've come out on, which is we've seen companies are giving. JP Morgan Chase committed $350 million to upskilling. Amazon committed $700 million to upskilling. PwC has $1 billion commitment. Boeing has $1 billion commitment. We've seen gigantic upskilling initiatives from corporations. And yet for all of these big commitments and programs, AT&T did AT&T Workforce 2020, which was a gigantic initiative, and they gave zero time, which practically is just silly because time is actually the bigger constraint and barrier in people's lives rather than money in terms of upskilling.
Yep.
Money is the second, but time is the first.
Yep.
So why would you solve your second biggest constraint, be willing to spend hard cash, but not be willing to spend soft dollars in terms of giving people time if upskilling really matters? If it's a positive ROI activity, you should be willing to give soft dollars in the terms of time if you're willing to give hard dollars in terms of cash. And the other thing I'll say here is that
wait. So when you say that, it's still not a perfect answer. So let's say my goal as the CEO of a company practically is to get my team to read 6 books a year. Just 6 books. Should I be giving them 6 days off a year to read those books, is what you're saying? Because it's important? Or should we split the difference? Or never split the difference, so to speak?
I think there's a difference between like continuous learning, which I feel is more appropriate to keep that burden on employees.